Hi, this is Kim from Emerging Creatively Tutorials, and this is ECT TV, episode 71. So, September 1st, we start Earrings Every Day month at Emerging Creatively Tutorials. And that means every day for the entire month of September, I encourage you to make a pair of earrings. You can find more about this at the link below the video, so you can find out how to join in. So there are a couple ways to participate. There's a completely free version where you can sign up to get a daily reminder email, and then there is the earrings e-course that goes along with Earrings Every Day month, and in that I'll be sending you an earring tutorial every single day for all 30 days, and the price is astonishingly inexpensive considering what you're getting. So you can check out that at the link below this video. But today I kind of wanted to talk about earrings since we are getting ready for that in a couple of weeks. So what you're looking at is a earring holder that I made just for last year's Earrings Every Day month. All these earrings are just the earrings that we made last year. And so there's 30 pair of earrings here, and they're all different and unique, and I love looking at this and seeing like what we made in a month. Like, I made these all in September last year. So what I want to do today is give you a little introduction to earrings in general, in case you are new to jewelry making, or maybe you need some tips or pointers. And I'm going to talk about some wire, the wire you would want to use. We're going to talk about, I'm going to show you how to make earring wires, and I'm going to show you how to make kind of what I think of as kind of the most basic earring you can make. But if you know how to make this earring, you can make a whole variety of different pairs of earrings to match your outfits and that sort of thing. So let's get started. So I wanted to start out by talking about wire, because I get this question a lot about what wire to use with certain projects. So this is 20 gauge wire. This is actually silver plated, and it works in the way of a half hard wire. This is actually para wire. And so for earring wires, the kind of general accepted gauge of wire to use is 20 gauge wire. So that's the earring wire that goes into your ear. For any other parts of the earring that, you know, isn't actually going into your ear, it kind of depends on what you're making. If you are making something kind of structured, you might want a thicker wire. If you're trying to get your wire through a tiny bead, you might need a thinner wire. Like I said, it kind of depends on what you're making. But as far as earring wires that go, you know, the part that goes in your ear, the actual, what we call earring wires, 20 gauge is the accepted gauge. Now, as far as metal goes, I am lucky enough not to have any kind of metal allergies. I can use any wire. I can use silver plated wire, and I'm fine. Copper's fine for me. Brass is fine for me. It all works just fine for me. Some people do have serious metal allergies. So in that case, you're probably going to want to use sterling silver wire for your earring wires. So it would be the same 20 gauge half hard round wire. The other option you have if you have metal sensitivity is to coat your earring wires with a product. I have used a product by Rio Grande called Midas Touch, I believe, and it's a lacquer that you put over your wire so it doesn't so it's not sensitive. I use it more for when I'm making hardware jewelry, that sort of thing. I've never actually tried it with earring wire, so I'm not 100% sure that would help or not, but I think that some people do that. And the other option is you can purchase your earring wires already made, and that is fine too. So for that, there are nickel-free surgical steel earring wires that aren't quite as expensive as the sterling silver, and you might find that they're okay to use as well. So other than earring wires, the other big consideration for earrings you have to think about when you're making your own earrings is the heaviness of your earrings. Some people's ears can handle heavier earrings and some people's can't, so you have to kind of know that, and you just want to be considerate to not make your earrings too heavy. So when you're thinking about beads to use, you want to think about that. When you're thinking about how complex or what you're adding to your earrings, you need to think about how heavy they are. They can't be too heavy or they're going to be uncomfortable. At the very least, at the very worst, they're going to pull on your ears, and you don't want that. So just keep that in mind when you're creating your earrings and when you're choosing beads for your earrings. So, like I said, you can purchase your own earring wires, and that is perfectly fine, and it's actually a pretty great idea when you're doing a daily challenge like this. You have one step you don't have to do every day, so you can just create your earrings, and you have the earring wire just ready to go to put them on, and you can wear them. I'm going to show you how to make earring wires right now, and so you have time before earrings every day month starts. You can make your own earring wires and just make a bunch of pairs ahead of time, and then you have them all ready to go, and it's just one less step you have to do in the process. It's one way to help yourself succeed. Don't make it hard for yourself to succeed. I'm going to show you how to make a simple pair of earrings, and first I'm going to show you how to make the earring wires to go with it, and we're just going to be making a simple hook earring wire. People sometimes call them fish hooks. So we will need wire. So I'm using 20 gauge half hard round wire. I'm using silver plated, but as I mentioned before, depending on your metal sensitivity, you might need to use sterling silver. You might want to just practice, if you've never made earring wires before, on a less expensive wire first, though, just to get the hang of it, and then switch over to the sterling silver. They are pretty simple to make, though. You'll want to have a ruler handy, and you'll need wire cutters, round nose pliers, and chain nose pliers. You'll also need a jewelry file or a burr cup or a wire rounder, and then you'll need a rawhide or nylon or hard plastic hammer and a metal block. That's what you're going to be hammering on, or if you have an anvil, whatever you use, and a Sharpie or some other type of marker or pen to form a loop around. Okay, so we're going to get started. So you can kind of customize the size of your earring wires. If you want them smaller or larger, it's up to you. You can experiment with that. Generally speaking, I'd say start at about 3 inches, and I usually say it kind of doesn't matter exactly how long this wire is, just make sure you make your earring wires the same length. And what I'm going to show you is how to make them exactly the same as we go along here. So I have 2 pieces of wire cut. They're the same length. And now we're going to do a flush cut on each side of each wire. So you just use the back side of your wire cutters toward the work. And at the same time, I can just make sure that they are the same size too. So if they are a little off, you can fix that right now. Alright. Okay, so now I'm grabbing my round nose pliers. And I'm going to make a loop at the end of each one. So I want to make it small. So I'm toward the tip here of my round nose pliers. And I'm holding the wire so it is at the top of my pliers but not poking through, so you can run your finger over and not feel it. And then you're just going to twist away and form a loop. So I'm twisting with my wrists. I go as far as I can, readjust, come back, and complete the loop. So I'm just twisting away with the pliers, and on this side I was using my thumb to wrap the wire. So it kind of looks like a P if you put it this way. And then just do the same thing on this earring wire. So you have a matching set. Okay, so now this is where we grab our Sharpie. I'm just going to line these two earring wires up together. Line them up by the loops. And then about halfway, but the part without the loop will be a little bit longer than the part with the loop. We're going to form a bend. We're going to bend right around our marker. And then pull it out. And we have two hooks here. And so, still keeping these together, I am going to grab my chain nose pliers, and I'm going to hold them right near where the loops are on this side, but on the opposite side. And then we're just going to make a slight bend out. Okay, so now grab your jewelry file, or you can use, like I mentioned, a burr cup or a wire rounder, which are basically the same thing. And we're going to just round out the wire on the ends of the earring wires. I'm not going to do this with audio because I know it's really bothersome to listen to. It's like nails on a chalkboard. But you're basically just going to run the wire over the file, or you can run the file over the wire. I usually just kind of do it this way, and then just keep working at it until the wire is rounded. It's just so it won't get caught in your ears when you're trying to put your earrings on. As you're doing it, you can just run your finger over and just feel if it's kind of rounded or if it has any pokey spots. And if it does, just keep at it. And then repeat for the second earring. And then the final thing to do is just to hammer your earring wires so they keep their shape. Again, I'm using a nylon hammer. A rawhide hammer does the same thing. What it does is it hardens the wire without flattening the wire or making like any marks on it. So you just hammer it, and then it's hardened, and then you are good to go. Those are the earring wires, and now they're all ready for you to put your creations on so you can wear them. So now I'm going to show you how to make a simple pair of earrings. I call these the bead dangle earrings. Some people call what I'm going to show you a bead charm, a wire wrapped head pin. And so basically we're just going to use an earring and make a wire wrapped loop on it, and then dangle it from the earring wires, and from that you can make all kinds of earrings. So for this part of the tutorial, for the rest of the earrings, you'll need a few more things. You'll need 2 head pins and 2 beads, and I already talked about choosing beads that are not too heavy for your ears, for your earrings. And then as far as the head pins and the beads go, you're going to want to use head pins that will hold the beads on. So if your beads have a large hole in them and slide off of your head pins, you're either going to need to use a smaller bead and then slide that on before the large bead that will hold the bead on and keep it from sliding off the head pin, or you can make your own head pins, which you can go back in my archives and find some different head pins. I've shared spiral head pins, knotted head pins, and an infinity head pin, a kind of funky ornate head pin. So there's lots of options if you want to try that. If you make your own head pin, then you can make sure that the bead won't slide off the end. Okay, so to get started, you're just going to slide your bead onto your head pin. Make sure the stopper at the end of the head pin is stopping your bead from sliding off. and grab your round nose pliers. So then you're going to hold the head pin in your round nose pliers about 1/4 of an inch from the top of the bead, and it doesn't really matter where you hold it in the round nose pliers, but I suggest making a mark on your round nose pliers and then lining up the wire with it for an entire project. So for both sides of the earrings, so both your loops are the same size. And now we're going to form a loop. So I'm just bending the wire around my round nose pliers. So you'll notice this loop is a little off center and we want it to be centered. So I'm going to show you how I like to fix it. So grab your chain nose pliers and hold that loop in your chain nose pliers. And then I like to wrap the wire around one time, and while I'm doing that, just straighten out the bead. So I'm just kind of pulling the bead straight, and then the loop is straight on top of the bead in the center. And now I'm just switching hands, and I'm using my bent nose pliers to go around 2 more times. Okay. And then you just grab your wire cutters and make a flush cut to trim off the excess wire. And then you can just go back to your chain nose pliers and just make sure that end is not poking out. So I like to do this little motion. You can just run your finger over it. And then you have a bead dangle. And now you're just going to repeat the exact same thing for the other earring. So I have done this again for the other earring. If you want matching earrings, just follow the exact same steps and make them exactly the same. And so now we're just going to add them to our earring wires. So to open an earring wire, I just usually hold on to this part of it, and then the loop here, we're going to open it up. So you just sort of bend it forward. You don't want to bend it out. You want to try to let it keep its circular form, but just open it. Slide the loop from the bead dangle in there, and then you just close it doing the opposite. And that's an earring, and then we'll just repeat for the second earring. And there you have a basic pair of earrings, real simple, easy to make, and quick. And from here you can kind of make all kinds of earrings. You just change up the beads. Maybe you get more interesting beads. Maybe you add a couple bead dangles to the same earring wires. Maybe you stack a couple beads on the head pin. You make your own head pins, and that will change the look. So really, it's all up to your imagination now. So if you click on the link below this video, if you're watching this on YouTube, and head over to my website at KimberlyKoehler.com, I have the step-by-step photo instructions, and then I will have a kind of a list of different ideas I have for you to customize these earrings to, you know, really make them yours, make them unique, use this tutorial in different ways. So click on the link to go over. And if you'd like an earring starter guide PDF ebook, make sure you sign up for my newsletter and I will send that over to you. You'll also get my Intro to Wire Wrapping e-course completely free. You'll also see a link to sign up for Earrings Every Day month, and so you can participate in that when it starts on September 1st. So I'm excited to see your earrings, what you make, and what you do with this tutorial. So feel free to leave me a comment with a picture of your earrings, and I would love to see that. Have a great day, and I will talk to you in a couple weeks.